Imagine I told you that the snake in the Adam and Eve story wasn't really a snake. What if the story you know needs a big change? Let's find out the surprising truth. The story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden is a famous Bible story. It's about a clever snake that tells Eve to eat a special fruit. This fruit makes God unhappy, and that's why people have problems today. Most people think the snake is just a regular snake. But what if it's not? In this video, we'll look at the old Hebrew words in the book of Genesis. We'll find out something new about the snake that will change how you see the story. By the end, you'll understand this story in a whole new way. The book of Genesis is the first book in the Bible. It's important for both Jewish and Christian people. Many think Moses wrote it. This book has stories that people have thought about for thousands of years. The story of Adam and Eve talks about innocence, temptation, and what it means to be human. Knowing more about the characters helps us understand the story better. To really know who the snake is, we need to look at the Hebrew word Nahash. This word usually means snake in English Bibles. But Hebrew is a tricky language with many meanings. Nahash can also mean a diviner, which is someone who knows hidden things. This means the snake could be more than just a snake. It could be a creature with special knowledge. Scholars, or people who study the Bible closely, have different ideas about the snake. Some think Nahash is a symbol of chaos or a rebellious being. Others think the snake might be an angel or even Satan, the enemy of God. One idea is that the snake is a divine rebel, like Prometheus from Greek stories. Prometheus gave fire knowledge to humans, which upset the gods. If the snake is like Prometheus, it isn't just bad. It's a complicated character that brings both trouble and enlightenment. Let's look at some other ideas about the snake. One idea is that the snake is a divine being, like a lesser god. In old stories from places like Mesopotamia and Egypt, snakes were seen as wise and powerful. For example, the Mesopotamian god Ningazida was often shown as a snake. In Egypt, the cobra symbolized the goddess Wadjet, who represented protection and royalty. These stories show that snakes weren't always seen as bad. They were also seen as wise. If the snake in Genesis is a divine being, it has deep wisdom and a special connection to God. This means the snake's temptation of Eve was more than a trick. It was a complex moment involving special knowledge and human choices. Another idea is that the snake represents chaos. In many old stories, snakes stood for chaos and disorder. The snake in Genesis might show the forces that challenge God's order. This fits because the snake leads Adam and Eve to disobey God, bringing chaos into their perfect garden life. In Babylonian stories, there's a chaos monster called Tiamat, a giant snake or dragon. The god Marduk had to defeat Tiamat to create the world. In Norse stories, the Midgard serpent threatens the world's order. If we think of the Genesis snake like this, it shows the struggle between order and chaos. Another idea is that the snake is a symbol for the inner conflict in people. It shows the fight between following God's rules and wanting forbidden knowledge. This idea sees the snake as representing our desire to learn and explore. When Eve eats the fruit, it's more than just breaking a rule. It's a big moment about human nature and our search for understanding. The snake represents the internal struggle we all face, following rules or seeking the unknown. This idea matches many old stories that talk about forbidden knowledge. In John Milton's Paradise Lost, Satan tempts Eve by appealing to her desire for wisdom. Prometheus, from Greek stories, defies the gods to give fire to humans, showing defiance and enlightenment. Seeing the snake as more than just a trickster changes the whole story. If the snake is a divine rebel or a symbol of chaos, the story is richer and more complex. It becomes a tale about human growth and the struggle between order and chaos. With this new view, the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden changes. The snake isn't just a trickster, it's a catalyst for human growth. Eating the fruit marks the start of human knowledge and choice. This new understanding has big religious implications. It challenges the idea of the snake as purely evil. It suggests the snake is a more nuanced character. It raises questions about temptation and divine beings' roles in human affairs. Maybe the snake's temptation was part of God's plan for human development. Perhaps seeking knowledge was an essential step in human evolution. For modern readers, this new view of the snake can deepen their faith and appreciation of the Bible. It encourages us to read the Bible with an open mind, seeing its story's complexity and depth. It also shows the importance of studying the original languages and cultures to understand these old texts fully. In Genesis 3:1, the snake is called crafty, which means smart and sneaky. If Nahash means a divine being, this intelligence shows a deeper understanding of divine things, making the snake a knowledgeable figure. In Genesis 3:4-5, the snake tells Eve, "You will not surely die. For God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." This shows the snake as a divine rebel bringing knowledge to humans. The snake encourages Eve to seek wisdom and self-awareness, challenging God's order for human growth. The snake in Genesis is like Prometheus in Greek stories, showing the tension between divine authority and human enlightenment. Enki, a Sumerian god, sometimes acted against higher gods to help humans. The snake in Genesis could be seen the same way, helping humans progress by giving them forbidden knowledge. This new view of the snake encourages believers to study the Bible carefully. It shows the importance of understanding the historical and cultural contexts of these ancient writings. This approach makes faith richer and more informed, recognizing the Bible's characters and stories' complexity. The snake's role as both tempter and enlightener adds depth to the story of Adam and Eve. It makes us think about human nature and the search for knowledge. The story of the snake in Genesis shows how deep exploration can reveal profound insights and change our views. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you found this video interesting, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insights into Bible stories and their hidden meanings.